It was one of those crisp autumn mornings in Chicago, the kind where the wind off Lake Michigan carries the promise of change, but for me, it brought only silence. I'd woken up to an empty inbox, no good morning text from Alex, my boyfriend of 18 months. At 22, I was Mia Rodriguez, a budding graphic designer fresh out of the School of the Art Institute, juggling freelance gigs and dreams of my own studio. Alex was the charming finance bro from the Loop, the one who swept me off my feet at a rooftop bar in Wrigleyville with his dimpled smile and stories of backpacking through Europe. We'd built what felt like a fairy tale, weekend brunches at the Bongo Room, stolen kisses under the bean in Millennium Park, promises of forever whispered during late-night walks along the river. But that morning, his silence stretched into days, then weeks. No calls, no texts, just vanished like a ghost in the fog rolling off the lake. I was left piecing together the shards of my shattered heart, wondering how love could evaporate overnight. Little did I know, his ghosting was just the spark. My revenge would ignite a viral firestorm that didn't just burn him, it scorched his entire world, humiliating him on a global stage he'd never escape. Let's rewind to the beginning, because every heartbreak has a backstory as layered as a deep dish pizza from Giordano's. I grew up in a tight-knit Latino family in Pilsen, Chicago's vibrant mural-filled neighborhood, where my abuela taught me to cook tamales and my parents drilled the value of hard work. Art was my escape. I sketched my way through high school, earning a scholarship to SAIC. That's where I met Alex at a gallery opening in my junior year. He was 25, interning at a big investment firm downtown, all polished suits and confident swagger. "You're the most talented person in this room," he said, handing me a glass of cheap wine. We clicked instantly. He loved my quirky designs. I admired his ambition. Our dates were magical. Picnics in Grant Park, Cubs games where he'd buy me overpriced hot dogs, even a surprise weekend trip to Door County, Wisconsin, where we watched the stars from a cozy cabin. As months turned into a year, things deepened. He met my family. My mom adored his manners. My dad grilled him about his career but gave a nod of approval. I supported him through late nights at the office, designing his firm's holiday cards pro bono. We talked about the future, moving in together, maybe a dog named Picasso. But subtle signs emerged. He'd cancel plans last minute, blaming work. His phone buzzed constantly with client messages. I'd catch him scrolling through Instagram, liking photos of models in bikinis. "Just browsing," he'd say with a wink. I ignored the red flags, chalking it up to stress from his promotion to junior analyst. Then came the ghosting. It started innocently enough. We had a date planned for Friday. Dinner at Alinea, the fancy spot I'd saved up for to celebrate his birthday. I texted him that morning, "Can't wait for tonight." Red heart, no reply. By evening, still nothing. I called, straight to voicemail. Panic set in. Was he in an accident? I checked his socials, active, posting stories from a bar in River North with brothers. My stomach dropped. Days blurred into a haze of unanswered messages. "Hey, everything okay? Alex, please call me." Radio silence. Friends consoled me. "He's a jerk, Mia. Move on." But the hurt festered, turning to rage. How could he discard me like yesterday's coffee cup from Intelligentsia? I dove into detective mode, something us Chicago girls are pros at. We're resilient, like the city that rose from the Great Fire. Using a friend's account, I stalked his profiles. There he was, flirting in comments with a girl named Brittany, a blonde influencer from LA with 200K followers, all beach selfies and sponsored posts. Turns out he'd flown to California for a business trip and never came back. Photos showed them at Santa Monica Pier, his arm around her waist. The betrayal hit like a freight train on the L. Not just ghosted, replaced. I cried for days, my sketchbook filling with angry doodles of broken hearts and villains. But in the depths of despair, inspiration struck. As a designer, I channeled pain into art. I started an anonymous TikTok account, at Ghosted in Chicago, posting short videos about my story, no face, just animated illustrations of our relationship crumbling. When your Prince Charming turns into a ghost, one caption read, "With cartoon Alex fading into mist." It was cathartic, but it exploded. Overnight, 10K views turned to 100K. Comments flooded. This happened to me too. Expose him. Emboldened, I escalated. I created a viral challenge. #GhostedRevenge, encouraging others to share their stories with creative twists. The suspense built as I plotted the main event. I knew Alex's weakness, his ego. He thrived on his professional image, networking at events like TechCrunch Disrupt. Digging deeper, I used public LinkedIn searches and mutual friends to uncover dirt. He'd been embezzling small amounts from client accounts, not enough to notice immediately, but traceable. Don't ask how I got the tips. Let's say Chicago's gossip network is tighter than a Cubs fan's grip on hope. More shockingly, Brittany wasn't his first side chick. There were others, including a coworker he'd ghosted before me. I compiled evidence anonymously, screenshots, timelines, even a fake email trail mimicking his firm's style. Phase 1 of Revenge, the soft launch. On my TikTok, I posted a teaser video, The Ghost Who Got Busted, coming soon. It hinted at a big reveal, with blurred images of Alex's face. Views skyrocketed to millions. Media outlets like BuzzFeed picked it up. Mystery TikToker teases epic expose. Alex noticed. He blocked my main account, but it was too late. Panic set in for him. Friends told me he was sweating, posting defensive stories about fake news. The climax hit during Super Bowl weekend 2025, when America was glued to screens. I timed it perfectly for maximum virality. I dropped the full video, a 10-minute masterpiece, narrated in a disguised voice, with custom animations I designed in Adobe After Effects. It detailed our story, the ghosting, the cheating, and the embezzlement, backed by redacted docs to avoid libel. This is for every girl who's been left in the dark, I ended. Hashtags. #GhostedRevenge, #XExposed, #ChicagoKarma. It went nuclear. Within hours, 50 million views. Twitter, X, trended worldwide. Who is the ghosted ex? Celebrities like Zendaya retweeted, Queens supporting Queens. Crown, news channels from CNN to Fox covered it. Viral video sparks debate on digital revenge. Alex's world imploded. His firm fired him after an internal audit confirmed the embezzlement. Turns out, my tips led to a real investigation. Brittany dumped him publicly on her Insta, not associating with liars. Job offers vanished, recruiters blacklisted him. He tried damage control with a tearful apology video, but it backfired. Memes mocked him as Ghost Boy, with photoshopped images of him as Casper. Protests erupted outside his old office in the Loop, signs reading, Ghostbusters Unite. Even international outlets like the BBC ran stories. American man's ghosting leads to global humiliation. But the real twist? Amid the chaos, I discovered Alex had a secret. He was married. A deep dive into public records revealed a quickie Vegas wedding from college, never dissolved. Brittany was wife number 2, unknowingly. I leaked that anonymously to tabloids, sealing his fate. He fled to his parents in suburban Naperville, but paparazzi hounded him. Last update, he's working at a fast food joint, his finance dreams as dead as our relationship. As for me, at Ghosted in Chicago evolved into an empowerment brand. I revealed my identity in a follow-up video, gaining sponsorships from brands like Bumble and Adobe. My follower count hit 5 million. I launched a podcast, From Ghosted to Glowed Up, interviewing survivors. Chicago embraced me. The mayor even gave me a key to the city for promoting digital accountability. Sitting in my new loft overlooking Navy Pier, sketching my next project with a view of fireworks, I reflect on the whirlwind. Revenge isn't about destruction, it's about reclaiming your narrative. Alex's humiliation was worldwide, but my triumph? That's eternal. If you've been ghosted, remember, your story can light up the world or burn down a ghost's house of cards. The end of his era, the start of mine.